Hey, how you doing? My name is author Dominique Wilkins, and I just wanted to share my thoughts about the things we get ourselves into. There's a lot of times where sometimes you feel as though you can help somebody, and you feel like, you know what, if I take this extra step just to help this person, then this is exactly what they'll need. For example, I'm thinking about a conversation I just had this week. I was talking to somebody, and I congratulated them on congratulations on your new relationship. How's things going, lover boy? And he said, well, it's not all that great. He said that it probably won't last long. Now, imagine my surprise when I heard that. What do you mean this is probably not going to last long? You've got a new relationship, but it's not going to last long? Please do not go into anything expecting it to fail. The minute you let that out your mouth, the minute it's happening, it's going down. Because if you there's tons of things that's happening. If you let any of the negative part out, that you agree that the negative is going to take over, then it will. The devil is only looking for a small foothold to run amok. If just the Bible says that he comes to conquer the strong, to bind the strong, to conquer the house. So the minute you let him know where your weak spot is, he's going for it. And if you feel that there is a weak spot, especially if somebody else is involved, then don't do it. Don't. Because you're trying to help. You have good intentions. We do these things all the time. We have good intentions, doing something because I thought that what I was going to do was going to help that person. But at the end of the day, if you know that wholeheartedly that you can't put yourself into it completely and invest yourself fully, then you're only going to make everything worse. Worse. Because this person believes in you. Now, you got feelings wrapped up in everything, and you're saying, I don't think this is gonna work. I'm doing this because they're a good person, but they've got this and that and this and that, and if that and this and that and them don't change, but I think that, if they could work on it, then we'd be fine. Listen, I've been in tons of relationships, been married for 12 years. What I've learned is you don't go into a relationship trying to change someone. What you do is you ask yourself, you say, hey, if this person doesn't change these things, I don't like them. But you're not going to expect to like everything about everybody because you're not perfect. But if you think that you're going to make them perfect, then you might not even need to get into that relationship at all because nobody can change anybody or anything. You are not God. You have no power to harden anybody's heart or soften them. I mean, you can work real hard and piss somebody off, but the truth of the matter is, I'm pretty sure there's been times when you probably tried to make somebody mad. You probably tried to make a fight, and it just didn't work because you don't have the power. That's why. It's just that simple. So, having said that, if you want to do the right thing, you want to try not to be hurt, just don't go into something not being able to give it your best. You don't want to hurt somebody? That's great intentions. But let your actions speak for your words and your thoughts. Because if you go in there half to my, oh, well, I think that they would be perfect if they change. No, I don't know who it was, but someone very smart said that if you don't like the way the person is today, then don't be with them because you're not going to make it tomorrow. Because chances are they're not going to change. Nobody's going to change the way you want them to. You can't even change the way you want to. If you could, then you would never have to worry about doing a diet because you just eat right the way you want to all along. It doesn't work that way. So don't ever get into a relationship. Word to the wise, word from experience. Don't ever get into a relationship trying to change someone. If you want, especially if you're going to get married, if you're thinking about getting married, especially when you get to your 30s, there comes a time where you don't have a lot of time to play with. This is not the Old Testament. People are not living to 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. Methuselah lived to 969 years old. You don't have that time. So if you don't have that time, you've got things to do. And you've got a purpose. There is something big planned for you. When you were created, you were supposed to be somebody huge. You're the catalyst of something big. Now, you cannot be the catalyst if you're in a bad relationship and you're stressed out and you're crying and somebody's fighting against you in your camp. You can't have stress in the camp. And guess what? Stop blaming it on the devil. All the stress and all the problems that you have didn't come from the devil. You gave him some help. We do cause a lot of our own problems. And like I said, going back to my initial conversation, trying to help somebody who you can't help is a good way of being a part of your own problem. You got to know when this is not your fight. Yes, we are supposed to help other people reach out and do what we can, but you have got to know when it is not your fight. And if you don't believe this is your fight, if you don't believe that you prayed up enough to be able to help somebody to get to where they need to be, don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, help them afar, but don't get yourself invested in there to the point that they're invested in you too. You know, if you say that you can help them, they believe you. It's amazing how good of a salesman you can be when you want to. Trust me. Especially if somebody is needy, then they're needing you to follow through on what you said. And we're going to just go back to a story in the Bible. Remember the story about Jesus when he came down from the top of the mountain after he was with the disciple, and at the bottom of the mountain while everybody was waiting on them to come back down, the disciples, a man had walked up to the disciples and was like, "Hey, I need you to cast this demon out of my son. You know, you've cast plenty of demons out of other people. You've healed all these other people. You're a disciple. This is what you do." And they couldn't do it. This one particular time, they couldn't do it. And when Jesus came down, they asked me, said, "Jesus, why is it we couldn't heal this kid? What happened? What's the problem?" And he said, "Well, you know what? It's simple. This is above your pray level. You're not prayed up enough for this. There is levels. Everybody has a fight that they cannot fight. And that's the same thing about storms. Everybody has a storm that the next person cannot take. You couldn't go through half the stuff I've been through. And guess what? I'm pretty sure you've done some things that I couldn't do. I know a lot of people where I've said, I wouldn't have made it. I can't believe all the things they've been through. I couldn't have done it. You know why? Because you have to be on that level. The things I know right now and the things that I've done and the conversation I'm having with you right now, the me from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago would be like, yeah, okay. Wait on that one. It's all about levels. It's all about storms. It's all about experiences. Don't tell somebody you can pull down the sun for them and the moon for them if you have never pulled down your own drapes. You don't own your house. You don't know about pulling anything down. You don't know about moving weight. So there's baby steps. And if you can't help somebody, it's okay to tell them, I would love to be able to help you, but I just don't think I'm ready. Or help them in a way that you can. But don't get yourself so involved that not only are they upset, you're upset too, everybody's upset. That's it. Just simple things that keep yourself out of trouble. If you can't do it, don't do it. Sidebar really quickly. Just want to mention another scenario my son gave me. He was playing the Sims game, and he had to have a job, and he had to have money and a car and all this other stuff. He said he found his job, and he wanted to work at this job, but he didn't have any money for a car to get to the job. So he said, what do I do? He said, I don't have money for the bus fare either. And I said, well, go get you a job that's closer to home. He said, but this is a really good job. It does this and that, and the benefits, ooh, up the bam. And I said, doesn't matter how great the job is. If you can't get to it, you can't be good at it. And I said, you'll be upset. You spend your whole time traveling trying to get there. I said, then it's not going to do you any good. Trying to be good at trying to get to a job. You're no good at getting to the job to even try to be any good when you get there. Why don't you do what you can, where you can? Get a job closer to home. See if there's a McDonald's. They still pay. If they do, then you can actually be able to get there. That's the first step. Something you can do. Get there. And then after you get there, then be all that you can be while you're there. But don't try to do something that you have no means and way of doing. Why are you going to do an interview at a job that you can't keep? Once you get it, why get it if you can't keep it? Doesn't make sense. It's just you adding stress into your plate for no reason. We have to stay in our circle, stay in our realm. And then once you conquer it, then you can move on up and move out. So just keep it simple. And if you do, and also if you need some help, sometimes even little things do seem like we still need some help. It doesn't seem so simple. Pray about it. Because God is listening. He doesn't want you to fail. He wants us to succeed. Ask him how can I do this? And if it's not your time, if it's not your place to be able to, it's not your calling, to be jump in and try to help somebody or do something where you mean well, just ask them. Say, God, what can I do? Is there somebody else that maybe I can refer them to? Just talk to me. We can do other things. We don't have to do the one thing, the really big job. And sometimes we don't have to do it alone. Just ask for help. Okay? All right. Well, that's enough here. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day and